Welcome to Life Expressions Podcast. I'm your host, Shari Hinete Elon. Today, we're going to talk to a local entrepreneur. She is the owner and director at Lee's Donuts and also the team lead at YVT Real Estate Group. In fact, when I first heard her speak at the Burnaby Board of Trade Women's Month networking event, I thought to myself, this is a perfect interviewee for me on my podcast because she was so inspirational and so candid, so natural. Happy to have her with me here on Life Expressions Podcast, Celine Bacani. Hi, Celine.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It is my pleasure to finally have you here on the podcast. Celine, let's jump immediately to you being an entrepreneur. Every successful entrepreneur has a turning point. What was yours, and what gave you the confidence to take that leap?
Yeah, I can trace that back as far as starting my real estate career. I mean, just for a little bit of context for your audience too, I grew up in a family of self-starters and entrepreneurs. I married into a family of business people as well. And so I've always been around it. But to explore my own path and to create my own, career in real estate was really the turning point for me. At that point, it was I was newly married, a few years married, and I was really trying on this path of self-discovery. Like, what do I want to do with my life? How do I want to show up in the world? And I entered the real estate industry, which at the time was very male dominated. And so I already knew I had challenges in front of me. And, it was my father he himself is 30 plus years in sales. And he says to me, he's like, well, listen, it's a sink or swim situation. You need to figure it out. And luckily, with a supportive husband, I was able to explore that and really build something for myself. So I think the turning point for me was really just entering an industry that I knew a little bit about, but I didn't know how to do it myself. So there was a lot of fear and a lot of things that I had to just get over that no one else could do for me but me,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yes. What year was that, Celine?
That was 2012.
Wow,
Yeah.
2012. So that's 14 years ago.
Yeah, almost 15. Yeah, that's right.
Yes, yes. So looking back, what's one business lesson you wished you had learned 10 years earlier?
10 years earlier, a business lesson, probably that every no is one step closer to a yes. And I know that is something that is taught to all salespeople, but to put that in practice and not be
Yeah,
discouraged and just get up day after day
yeah.
in pursuit of your goals requires a certain type of tenacity that can only be done, in the weeds. So that's something that I wish I had, you know, kind of dove into a little bit more aggressively in the beginning of my career.
Yeah. But after several years, for sure you have learned that and
Yeah.
practiced that. Well, some of us into sales, before I was into sales, I say
Mhm.
I take no for breakfast.
There it is. And you know what? And to anybody like getting into real estate or starting their entrepreneurship journey, there's so much fear. And for me as a woman, I didn't even understand what it meant to be a woman in business. I just
Yeah.
was so tunnel visioned into becoming successful no matter what, that
Yes.
I actually in the beginning, that fear I shrunk my voice quite a bit,
Yeah.
right? And so
Yes.
whenever I would get a no or a rejection, it really was devastating. It
Yes.
made you question yourself and it made you ask like the questions of am I built for this? Can I actually do this? Should I just go to my plan B? You
Yeah.
know?
Yes. Yeah.
But as the years go by and you start to develop your own traction, you develop the confidence behind it. And through real estate, I was able to develop my voice and my confidence.
Yeah. Did being a woman affect you excelling in real estate and being an entrepreneur?
Absolutely. I think just the way I was raised to was in a very traditional setting. Even though my parents were, enterprising themselves and were the ones to introduce me to real estate, it was kind of a conservative upbringing where hey, the role of the woman is this, and, this is what we have to do to be a good wife and a good nurturer and all those things. And I love all of that about being a woman. But I went into business not thinking about, hey, what is actually happening as a woman in business?
Yeah.
It's actually not until recent years that I guess other people have, you know, come to me for advice or reflected back on the accomplishments that we've had. And really, it's just in the last few years that I've taken a moment to say, hey, we are a woman in business and there is something here, right?
Yes.
And that
Yes.
comes with building that confidence. So maybe early on in my career, my goal was to be the best salesperson I could be, the best realtor I could be, the best person to serve the community. Not man, woman had nothing to do with it. I
Yeah.
just wanted to be the best.
Yes.
It wasn't until later on and truly probably when I had my daughter that I had to start questioning things for myself and determining what my value system was moving forward. Because we do lead by example, right?
True.
And
Yes.
so all of the wonderful things that I was raised in that tradition, it's like I will take all of that, but
Yeah.
how do I turn it into today's woman and charge forward with less fear than I had when I first started? How do I show my daughter that? You know?
Agree. Yes. I
Yeah.
love that. Yes. But Celine, Lee's Donuts is very successful now, right? But if someone wanted to start a business today with
Mhm.
very limited resources, what are the first
Yeah.
three things they should focus on?
Great question. Great question. I think the first thing, one of my best pieces of advice from a mentor was really to create a life by design. And so sometimes that sounds like a very luxurious and a privileged position to be in, but being an entrepreneur is nothing but blue sky dreaming and then putting it into action, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if I were starting over today, or if there's an entrepreneur out there listening that wants to start something for themselves, is to really get to know what is important to you. You have to do things in life. You have to have a roof over your head. You have to make a certain amount of money. What kind of lifestyle do you want? What kind of lifestyle do you want to provide for your children and the, you know, following generations,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
And through that, I think you'll also learn what your relationship with money is going to be. So, was the question three things?
Yes.
Three
Three
things that
things.
okay. So
Yes.
number one, get to know yourself and your value system.
Yes.
Figure out what kind of life you want to create for yourself and your family, and then really dive into your relationship with money.
Yeah.
And
What?
I say that
Mhm.
because, I'm just referring back to my own experience. I'm the one who came into our marriage with my partner, who
Mhm.
I am in business with.
Yes.
Um, I am the one that brought in debt, student loan debt, and this and that. Even though I was, I enjoyed working and making money, I didn't know how to manage it properly. I didn't know how to, what it meant. Having a mortgage was terrifying to me. So the decision to go into business now is using your own money or other people's money to build a dream
Yeah.
or execute on a dream.
Yeah.
So you really got to get good at what your value system is, because whether you're using your money or you're using other people's money, the investment is in you. The belief is in you,
True.
right? You're leading that charge.
Yes.
The buck stops here.
Yes. What was your relationship with money?
Money, uh, the relationship with money today is that it's a tool, and it's a
Yes.
fantastic tool
Yeah.
to get to reach your goals and build wealth. Back then it was I remember I got my first job at 14,
Wow.
and it was powerful. It was empowering for me to
Mhm.
make my own money,
Yeah.
but I spent it on frivolous things because, we're privileged here, right? And
Yeah.
I think you don't learn it in school, financial management, how to deal with taxes and things like that. So I joke even with my group of entrepreneurs and friends today that back in the day, it was so nice to have one paycheck for my phone bill, maybe my gas bill, because I was still living at home,
Yeah.
and then one paycheck for me,
Yeah.
which is my shopping, my going out with friends, and all of the fun things with money,
Yeah.
right? And I thought that was responsible for a teenager to, and it really
Mm,
was. It
mm.
was responsible for a teenager to make their own money, spend their own money. Then you get into the real world. You got to pay for your education. You need to start building a life for yourself outside of the home.
Yes.
And I got married pretty young. I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah.
I moved, again, traditional upbringing. I stayed at home, and my first time moving out was, after I got married.
Wow. Yeah.
And so the learning curve was very steep.
Mm.
What do you mean most of my paycheck is going to my mortgage? What do you mean I have to budget for groceries and food?
Yeah.
So, I'm looking back and sharing and laughing about it now. But as a
Yes.
25-year-old at the time, it was a very real um, wake up call.
Yeah. Yeah. And now,
So,
yes. Go ahead.
and now, but my husband and I were both young at the time. So it was really a beautiful learning on how to grow together.
Yes.
Right. And it really set the foundation for how we live our life today.
Yeah.
So
That
no regrets.
that is
Live to
great.
tell about it.
Yes. Lee's Donuts has earned a loyal following over the
Yeah.
years. What's the secret to creating customers who keep coming back?
Well, I will say, we didn't start these donuts.
Yeah.
And as I share many, many times, as my husband and I were really blessed to be awarded this business when we made the bid for it. We were
Yes.
competing against other family businesses, other people with so much more experience than us. And so, my gratitude really goes to the previous owner and also the managers at Granville Island for taking a chance on us because we
Yeah.
didn't know how to make a single donut.
Mm.
They had a loyal following before we came on board, and I'm confident that we will have a loyal following after. And I think the secret sauce to that is really respecting the legacy of where it came from,
Yes.
right? Because it is a true Vancouver Canadian born brand. And
Yes.
that is very unique. That is our differentiating factor. And so my husband and I, my partner, Alan, and I, don't take that for granted, you know, at all. Our story could have ended very differently. The donut shop could have gone to someone else, but it landed in our hands. So we take that job very seriously in
Yes.
terms of making sure we nurture this brand and give people what they want. I
Yes.
think we're really good at getting feedback, especially as we expand. We don't pretend to know everything. In fact, we're at a point in our business and our growth that we're really hiring people who know more than us and
Wonderful.
can guide and lead the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's an exciting time.
Very good. Celine, businesses face setbacks, changing markets, and unexpected challenges. What has
Yeah.
helped you stay resilient during
Mhm.
difficult times and keep Lee's growing?
Right. No, great question. I think for us, it was something that my partner and I refer to my partner a lot because we really did this journey together.
Yes.
And again, I'm very lucky to be able to do that alongside, somebody. And we've always believed in coaching and mentorship.
Mhm.
And one of the things that our mentors have always said is that there's always going to be external factors, that we cannot control.
Yeah.
So we always start with, hey, what is within our power to control? Number one, and then it comes back to our value system is what is important to us,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So when we face setbacks, many times sometimes they're mistakes that we make because we don't know better. But sometimes they are external factors, such as, remember COVID days and having to adjust and adapt.
Yeah.
And I think agility is a skill that helps us become more resilient. Is how do we pivot, right?
Yes.
I think the best thing that we did during those times was not only be driven by the emotion of what's happening right now, because sometimes when you're in crisis, setback, your emotions can very easily take over, but always back it up with the data to
Correct.
make your strategic decision on how to move forward.
Yeah.
And then once you have that clarity, commit because you have to lead that charge.
Yeah. I love that. Once you have that clarity, you commit. Celine,
Commit.
earlier you said that at this point, what you think is really good is that you listen and you have the capacity to hire people who know better than you. And that's a great asset for your growth. But what's one mistake you see new entrepreneurs make over and over again? And how can they
Yeah.
avoid it?
Yes. I see a lot of new entrepreneurs, first of all, I get excited when I see new businesses pop up and exploring new businesses in the community. I love it. I am all for entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Um, but it is really scary sometimes to see the amount of people who think entrepreneurship is a glamorous business
Mhm.
and maybe make decisions based on what's too trendy and not long lasting. Okay, so an example of that is like maybe a new business where they have a loan to start their business and they sink in so much in what's trendy and the marketing and this and that, where truly it should be in investing in yourself as a leader.
Yeah,
Number one, if you're not experienced, right? And also studying your market before jumping out there.
I love that.
Because in this age of social media, and I grew up in it, like I was coming up when social media was just starting. So
Yes.
I've seen the change and the speed at which it goes.
Yeah.
And you're setting yourself up for failure if you are just trying to catch trends right out the door.
Yeah.
So what I would say is like for newer entrepreneurs is to really study your market and really outline your worst case scenarios. There is so much out there that glamorizes entrepreneurship, but at the end of the day, we're in business not only to develop our communities and provide jobs, but it has to be profitable.
Yes.
Otherwise, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly right. The bottom
So
line of business is profit.
it is. And don't get me wrong, like even today when we talk to our teams and people who are looking to invest with us
Yeah.
and work with us, we do put our people first. We do, because without our people, um we don't have a business to run.
That's great.
But alongside that has to be a very strong financial strategy so that that ecosystem is
Yeah.
sustainable,
Yeah.
right?
I like it that our listeners
Mhm.
could really learn a lot from this episode.
No, I don't sugarcoat
I love
anything,
it.
Shari. You know
Yes,
this.
yes. But Celine, as your business grows, how do
Yeah.
you maintain the quality of Lee's Donuts, the consistency that your customers expect?
In terms of quality of the product, we kept it up by failing. Be very honest with you. When you expand a business and it's just you, and we had a small and very nimble team at that time, you really just do the best you can,
Yeah,
right? But it's actually through the growth and expansion of the business that we've been able to come back and look back and say, oh, these are the gaps in quality and production now.
yeah,
And like I said, this is a homegrown Vancouver brand with a very good following. They will tell us
yeah,
when we are not living up to the standard, and I'm grateful for it. So the last few years, actually, we've had our teams in our commissary kitchen and at our stores reviewing and revising. I mean, even just this past February, I had my director of operations and my partner Alan back in the shops and back
yeah,
on the ground, teaching them how to roll the dough.
yeah.
And because you go through changes in teams, right? And so
Yes,
we have to refresh them all the time,
yes,
because it's baking. It's like a science.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, so it's a constant thing, and it's always top of mind for us to keep the quality very, very high.
yeah. Very
So,
good to
and it's
know.
only from the feedback from people and us expanding that we figure out what those gaps are in
Yeah.
production.
You've built teams, you've created opportunities for others. What's your philosophy on leadership?
My philosophy on leadership is twofold.
Yeah,
Okay. My passion really is in building teams. I love seeing people grow in and learn about themselves the way I did coming up as an entrepreneur. And so my responsibility and philosophy in that is twofold. Number one is that I am responsible for creating the environment where they can thrive. Okay. So
yes,
I need to do my best with what I have to be able to provide for them the skills, the support, whatever it is for all of us as a company and
yeah,
for them as people to reach their goals. Um, the second part of that is to make sure that the environment that we create is safe enough for them to feel that they can make those mistakes. you
Yeah.
know, in my
Yes.
one-on-ones with everybody,
Yeah.
a lot of it, that fear is very constant. And I
Yeah.
get it. They don't want to disappoint us. They don't want to make mistakes. But I have to always remind them, hey, we created this and I will back you up.
Correct.
If you make a mistake within reason,
Yes.
I will
Yes.
back you up if the mistake is something that I understand and that
Yeah.
we can all learn from.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how I see it. I go into every Monday meeting thinking that. I listen to everybody's updates. I'm instantly connecting to what their individual development plan is and the goals of the company.
Yeah, I love that. Like you're also building a positive workplace culture, developing
Yeah.
your business as well as the people who work with you.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're big on our culture, and it really only is because we have such a strong team that believe in mine and Alan's vision.
Yeah.
And so we do take that responsibility very seriously, that it's our job to make sure that they also have no ceiling in their career with us.
Yeah. Limitless. Love it.
That's right. Mhm.
Speaking of teams, what qualities do you look for when hiring people, even before experience or technical skills?
Right. Yeah. That's a great question because I always look for qualities that are beyond their experience. The experience is almost a given. If I'm looking for an executive leader, there is an expectation that they have X amount of years of experience and what is it and what have you, but really is how our first conversation. I am a very big first impression person.
Hmm.
I feed off of people's energies.
Yeah.
And so that is probably the very, very first thing that I look for, is there a good energy here?
Mm,
Because like I said before, growing a business is not glamorous. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of
correct.
blood, sweat, and tears. And so if I can sense that this person will ride with us through those waves and can do that, then that's a good first step.
Yeah.
I think through their experience, though, I can ask questions about, hey, how do you deal with problem solving? How do you deal with tough conversations? How do you deal with teams? Things like this. Um, and I really look for those people who believe in themselves enough, but also believe in the vision of the company,
Yeah, love that.
right?
Yes. Speaking of vision, what is the vision of Lee's Donuts?
The vision of these donuts is to be Canada's next favorite donut.
I love
For
it.
sure. Most recently this week, myself and my business partners have had the opportunity to also meet many delegates from the Philippines and
Yeah.
other people worldwide. And so the dream has expanded. And I think that, you know, while we have the energy to do this and take this as far as we can, we owe that to the brand.
Yes.
And we owe it to Canada, really, to see how far we can take Lee's Donuts. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that's great, Celine. How do you motivate a team to care about the business and the vision of the business as much as you do?
I think we have a unique story behind us, having it been a legacy brand in the community for over 45 years.
Yeah.
I also really believe that having a woman led business and a minority owned company
Hmm.
is very rare and unique in the business world. And so that's something that we definitely champion. And everyone who is on board our team has to understand that.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it's not for them. We
correct.
are starting to enter communities that may not know Lee's story.
Mm,
And so I need my team to champion that brand.
yeah.
So I'm meeting with, small towns across Canada. We're meeting with business leaders in other communities who may not know us. And I'm very upfront and very confident with them when I say, hey, we are a minority owned company. We're an inclusive company and we're a fun brand. How do you think your community will respond to that?
Yeah. Wow. Yes, you're a
And that's
fun.
just it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
And we go from there.
yeah. You're saying across Canada. So you're not just in BC any longer. You're across Canada.
Yes. Yeah. We're
Wow.
definitely, the dream is definitely big.
Yes.
Over the last 8 years, Alan and myself have tried two models in expanding this business locally. So we have 10 locations now. Half of them are corporately owned, half are franchised.
Yeah.
And I love both models. And I think as of today, the plan is to expand it as a hybrid model, so some corporate and some franchise.
Yeah.
But franchise really gives the opportunity for that person who has entrepreneurial spirit, loves following a system, loves a good brand, loves marketing, loves their community to get into business with a brand like ours
Yes.
at an affordable and less risky way because it's already packaged for you.
True.
So I do believe in the franchise system. It's been around forever and has been successful for many people. It's
Yeah.
not for everyone, but for that entrepreneur that really wants to give it a go
Yeah.
with something that's already prepared for them, I think it's a really good option.
Yes. Agree.
Mhm.
Let's talk about money, investing, and long term thinking. Many
Okay.
people know you already, of course, as a business owner and director at Least Donuts, but you're also involved in real estate. Why do you
Yeah.
believe entrepreneurs should think about investing beyond their primary business?
Well, I think the most simplest way to say it is like, what is all this for? We can learn to make money. I can teach someone how to make money and build their own wealth and business. But if we're not storing it in areas that either create more business and opportunity or secure a legacy for yourself or your family, what are we doing? You know?
Yeah, yeah,
So my belief has always been that there needs to be some anchor in the family in terms of investing.
yeah,
And for us and for our family, it is cash flowing businesses and real estate,
yeah.
because that's what we know, right?
Yes, yes,
We've studied crypto and all of these other investments, and there are some experts, and I listen intently because I also want to educate myself on these newer investments. But real estate has always been an anchor for me. And even in a shifting market like we are right now in
yeah,
real estate,
yeah,
um, owning properties, some commercial properties that my stores operate on, has been hugely beneficial for
mm,
us in continuing and surviving as
yeah,
in
yeah.
business.
Yeah. I think my takeaway from your statement is that you have to focus on where you're good at and where you're knowledgeable of, right? Do not
That's
just
right.
invest in things that you are not very privy about. But
That's right.
what's one financial habit, Celine, that's had the biggest impact on your success?
Ooh, great question. What is the financial habit that has,
Made a big
the
impact.
discipline of because our belief in real estate is really strong, and I've always set a goal of creating a portfolio so that if everything else collapsed or something happened, I would still have a roof over my head. I
Yeah.
would be able to house family. I would be able to help out through real estate. I could sell some things off. So I think the discipline of through my access in real estate, just investing in good properties
Yes.
that would benefit not only us today, but for future generations.
That's
Probably. And when I look back now, it seems pretty aggressive because because any money that we make, we just pour it back. It either goes into real estate or goes back into our business, right?
yes. Yeah.
And I see that because on the day to day, I feel broke. I want money.
because you're investing.
I don't see it anymore. Yeah. And maybe that's a good thing.
Yes, I would like to believe so. Yes, for sure.
Yes.
It is good, right? For
Yeah.
someone just beginning to build wealth, where
Yeah.
would you encourage them to start?
Oh, it's going back to that anchor. The home
Yes.
always anchors me, right? And the
Mm,
home, you always need a roof over your head. So,
yeah.
so my first big investment was to jump into real estate,
Yeah.
right? So, if it's within your capacity to do that now, either the traditional way or creative ways, I see people doing it all different uh, types of ways today to invest in real estate, whether it's a joint venture or for business. Go for it. Take that
Yeah.
leap. I can say that confidently today because I've survived it, right?
yes.
Yeah, yeah. And it's only paid in spades for us, even through tumultuous markets.
That's great. At what point did success become more, or shall I say, at what point did success become about more than just profit?
Hmm. I think it's always been about that. I think I
Mm,
had an understanding that, hey, to be in business, it does need to be profitable.
Yes.
But I've always detached myself, and this probably comes from, being raised as a daughter of immigrants
Yeah.
and that mentality that we do need to take care. So when we make the money, it's like we need to reinvest it back into the business to either build up the business or our people, reinvest it into our lives to build wealth for future generations and for ourselves.
You
Right.
have made sure that your bottom line is profitable, but you also give back. At what point
Yes.
did that become important to you?
Community has always been really, really important for us, and I've always enjoyed feeding off of the energy of the people around us. So,
Yeah.
growing up, when we got married, I worked in the public market for my father-in-law at the butcher shop for
Yeah.
almost 10 years, and I got to know the Granville Island community and figure out what is valuable to them. And so when I was in a position to give back and to do these things, I think it comes back tenfold. It
Wow.
really does, right?
Yes.
That's how I was raised, is to
Yes.
always give back to your community. It's something that we teach our daughter now, but it's also something that I tell our teams that we are in a position to do this,
Yes.
right? And some businesses are not.
Yeah.
And so I do think that there is a balance that can be had where it's not just profits, but also how we show up in the community.
I love that. If you
Mhm.
could leave every entrepreneur with one principle for building a business that lasts, what would it be?
Oh boy. There are many, but if I was to choose one, it really would be that clarity is power.
Yeah.
And clarity is something that you're going to have to, it's a muscle that you're going to have to exercise throughout your career,
Yeah.
because the clarity at the beginning of your business, how you need to just pay, maybe the clarity at the beginning is just how to pay your bills and how to make payroll. And then you're going to face other challenges that causes you to question everything that you've built. And then you're in pursuit of a different kind of clarity.
Yeah.
Um, Clarity is also growth, though. So don't be afraid to ask the hard questions and really get into those dark places and those places that most people want to avoid.
Yeah. Yes.
I always
Yes.
tell the team that how you show up personally is how you show up professionally.
True.
So the clarity piece that I'm talking about is not just in business,
Yeah.
is how do you face yourself at the end of the day? And are you okay with the person that you are
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
able to lead this charge?
Yes. And you have to be crystal clear on your purpose, why you're
Yes.
doing things, right?
Mhm.
And so for you, Celine, what does living a life of purpose mean to you?
Oh boy. Living a life of purpose for me is being able to have a conversation with you on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And then in the next minute, I'm going to go watch my daughter at her first golf tournament of the summer.
Wow.
And it's creating this life by design where I can allow myself to be there for my daughter and be there for our family. And my Filipino families can be very big and very
Correct.
vast,
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
But when we're talking about getting crystal clear, I'm
Yeah.
talking about my husband, my daughter, my dog, everyone that lives in my four walls, okay?
Yes.
That is my priority. That at the end of the day, through hell or high water, everything I do is for them and for us. And so to be able to create that life, that fuels me every day, is to see them happy and to see us go through challenges as a family together and make it through at the other end.
Yeah. I love
Mm.
that. I'm also a proud Filipino. And I'm very proud of you and your family.
Thank you.
You're making waves. You are aspirational, inspirational, just for immigrants and a woman immigrant at that, right? Like
Well,
building a business that
for
lasts.
clarity, I
Yes.
was born and raised here,
Oh,
but I
so
am the
no,
daughter of
yeah, a daughter of
immigrants.
an immigrant. Yes.
Yes, but I am very connected to our community and our heritage. I
Correct.
wear it with pride.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. You're
Yeah.
no longer the first gen immigrant
Yes.
because your
Yeah.
parents are. Yes. Now,
Yes.
Celine, let's go to this. This is rapid fire, fun.
Okay.
Just one answer, quick answer. I'm going to give you a quick question, quick answer to these. Okay? So,
Okay, ready.
ready. One habit every entrepreneur should develop.
Journaling,
Best investment you've ever made.
real estate. No, my partner,
I love that.
life partner.
Yes, correct. A business book that changed your perspective.
Getting to yes.
Morning routine in 3 words.
Coffee, fresh air. Oh, I'm stuck on the third one. Coffee, fresh air, and my car to get
Oh,
to work.
why not? Yes. Now, if you could have that coffee meeting with any entrepreneur, who would it be?
Today, it would be Emma Greed because she is fearless in building brands. Um, she's unapologetic about being a woman in business and a woman of color in
Yeah.
business. And
Yes.
I follow her and I admire what she does.
Love that. Me too. One thing people often get wrong about success.
That it's glamorous and easy.
One piece of advice you live by every day.
Do the best you can with the time that we have.
Yeah. Now let's ask. This is no longer rapid fire. You can answer as long as
Okay.
you like.
Mhm.
What's one belief that has changed your life, Celine?
What's one belief that has changed my life? It really is that, I go through life and just, I'm in this position of analyzing opportunities, analyzing deals. And sometimes I'm human and I get emotionally attached to an outcome that I want through an opportunity. And so it really is the belief that if something is for you, it is for you. I think a lot of opportunities deserve our energy and our time and our analysis. And sometimes we get disappointed when the outcome isn't what we expect. But many times I look back on some things that I was so passionate and driven about. And it's thank God it didn't work out.
Yes. Yeah.
I'd be bankrupt or whatever it is, right? So I
Yeah.
really have to have that faith that, hey, if it's for us, it's for us. If it was meant to happen, it was meant to
I
happen.
totally agree with that. I
Yeah.
love that. What's one
Mhm.
habit that contributed most to your success?
It goes back to your rapid fire question. Journaling has been
Yes.
incredibly therapeutic for me. It's really fueled my own creativity and my expression. Um, and it's free.
Exactly.
You can do it anywhere,
Right.
anytime.
Yes.
And it's really great to be able to look back on my old journals and see how far I've come, how I used to speak to myself in those journals, how I used to speak about others or situations and tracking my own growth through that. So
Yes.
I encourage anyone to do that. It's better than therapy.
Oh, totally agree. In
Yeah,
fact, I have my own journal. I am Unstoppable 2026. It's available on
love
Amazon.
it.
It is great. And one habit that I would share, because you're saying that journaling
Yes,
is really key, right?
powerful.
Very powerful to help you succeed and achieve your goals in life is like every single day you journal. What are the things that have happened really well for you today? And what are the things that you would want to happen for tomorrow? Something like
That's
that.
right.
Whatever works for
Yeah,
you, right? As long as you
right.
journal.
Yeah. And sometimes it could just be I've had journals where I'm just so frustrated and I just scribble.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
because it's
Correct.
for me, it's not for anybody else.
Yes.
You know, when you're a leader, you give so much of yourself to your people that sometimes it's easy to be forgotten in that mix. Who
Yes.
do I get to complain to? Who
Yeah.
do I get to,
Your
share
journal.
my gripes with in a safe way that won't get me canceled, fired, all of this. So yeah,
Yeah.
journaling is it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Celine, what's one piece of wisdom you hope our listeners today will remember long after this episode ends?
That's a deep, deep question. I would really invite your listeners that if you have it in you, if there is something inside of you that is really tugging at giving entrepreneurship a try, but there's barriers, you have your own self-limiting beliefs, is to do what you can to overcome those and just go for it. Okay.
Yeah.
personal growth, at the very end of it, you will find there will be a lesson in everything.
Yeah.
Whether the business itself is successful or not, whatever. Talk to business owners. Most of them have failed multiple times before they've made it.
True. Yes.
But
Yeah.
you don't want to live your life and regret what could have been. A lot of entrepreneurs just know. The same way that I knew I would make an awful employee. My husband has been fired from more because we just knew there was a knowing inside that, hey, this is not the path for us.
Yeah.
And I know there are people out there that are listening and watching reels and getting excited about entrepreneurship out there,
Yeah.
but don't want to take that first step.
Yeah.
For me, I just tell you, just go for it.
Yeah.
Just go for it. Who cares what other people think,
True.
right?
Yes. Just
So
start, right?
just start.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't wait for everything to be perfect before you start. Just start.
Coming from a perfectionist, I endorse that message because it is. I can be my own worst enemy in terms of making sure everything is perfect. But the best things come when you just go for it.
I love that. Thank you so much, Celine. This has been a wonderful conversation. I have
Oh,
truly
thank
enjoyed
you.
it. Thank you.
Yes, I hope your listeners enjoy it as well. And thank you for the opportunity.
It is my pleasure. And so, if you like this episode and conversation, please share it with your friends. Be a blessing. Share it with your friends and hit that subscribe button of Life Expressions Podcast so you'll be notified each time we have a new podcast. I am Chari Hineri Elon, your host, and my guest is Celine Bacani. Till next time, here on Life Expressions. Don't forget, make a positive impact wherever you are, in all that you do, however you can.